Hey guys, Coach here. Welcome to this week's video. Hey, we're talking about something that not a lot of people think about, but they always want to attain throughout the growing season. We're talking about having color more than just a few weeks out of the year. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about the color continuum throughout the growing season. Hey, welcome back. Hey, you know how a lot of people have a yard for one reason or another, whether they did it or the previous owners did it, but they always have a yard that looks spectacular for 2 to 4 weeks out of the year. Then whatever made it look spectacular, it tends to go back to green, and it's kind of a okay yard for the rest of the year. What I'm here to impress upon you today is that you can attain that entire growing season color continuum with just a little bit of homework, a little bit of research, and a little bit of sweat equity. Now, I'm standing in front of our hillside bed, something that was nothing more than just a blank gravelly hillside when we first started. And when I did it, knowing full well up here in Zone 4 that I wanted to have color that kind of stretched out our short 6 months or less season. And I can tell we are going to have to talk fast here today because we have thunderstorms moving in for the third time today. A color continuum is basically a planting scheme or a planting plan that has plant material that hands off from one plant to another throughout the growing season, so that when one is done, another one is coming on. And when it is starting to fade, the other one is coming on. And I use the example of our hillside bed here because our moss phlox, or our Phlox subulata, has just gone out of color. It is basically done for the season. It'll have a little bit of spritz here in the fall, but not much. Time for me to go in and give it a little bit of a haircut and then let it grow and tumble and spill over the boulders the remainder of the year. But you can see behind me the mouse-eared or the dwarf coreopsis coming on in full color. Look at those guys, handing right off to the next one. And that will last another 2 to 3 weeks, and then it's going to start to die down. I will deadhead it, and then we have the daylilies and the Veronica spicata that are going to come on. And before even the phlox came on, I had some of the purple gem rhododendrons up there that were going full tilt. Later on in the season, after the daylilies and other things start to get a little tired, I have the August moon hostas and the tall white phlox that are going to come into their vogue time of year. That's going to be the end of July and into August. Now what I have left is the end of August and into September. And by the end of September, we're pretty much done. We go off into a different kind of color realm that has nothing to do with blooming. It has all to do with foliage. So how do you attain this? How do you attain this color continuum? It is a little bit of, we're not going to make it. So for me, when I was actively designing yards and I would ask at the kitchen table, one of the things I loved about my work was sitting down with a customer or customers at their dining table or their kitchen table and saying, are you interested in color? And if so, what's your favorite colors? When do you like to see the color? And I noticed that not one of them ever said, I want to have color as long as possible. Because for the average homeowner, the average layman, they don't think about that. They think about spring color. They think about their marigold run on a Saturday morning. And that's pretty much where it ends, period. In order to infuse them with some enthusiasm, I would say something to the effect of, what if I was able to give you color 8 months out of the year. And they would go, "You could do that?" Yeah, I can do that. And so you can do that too. It just takes a little bit of planning and looking at things of, number one, what you like, number two, where you live as far as the growing zone. So when is your growing season? And then what is available to you? If you live in the higher zones, we'll say 8, 9, 10, 11, you guys literally almost have 12 months out of the year, hands down. I was in zone 9A in the Central Valley of California, and I was able to always have something blooming. Even in the dead of winter, I had primula and primrose. I had daffodils coming up at the end of January. It always had a blooming period no matter what month it was. So when you sit down at your kitchen table or your design table, you look at what USDA zone is, you know pretty much, unless you're brand new to your area, where spring really hits. For me here, spring doesn't even get its legs, doesn't even, as far as growing goes, until mid to late May. That's our spring. So maybe where you're at, maybe spring is the beginning of March, the beginning of April. Wow. So you can go to the nurseries, you can research online, you can ask family and friends, you can take an inventory of things in your neighborhood and your town area, maybe on the way to work or whatever, and you can start to accumulate a Rolodex, mental or written down, of what starts the year off. And then take note of what it hands off to, and then what it hands off to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And it's really not that hard. And you can get a whole list going. You can spreadsheet it if you want. You can hand write it out on a cocktail napkin. Whatever it takes, you know that you're going to start the season off with maybe a half a dozen different colors. And then at the end or mid-spring, you're starting to hand it off to 3 or 4 different colors. And then as things start to heat up, you hand it off to another half a dozen colors. And these colors don't always mean bloom. Sometimes it means foliage. Sometimes it means variegation. Sometimes it means contrast between one color of leaf and another color behind it. Hey guys, Coach here. Let me just take a second and thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy this list that I kind of quickly put together for you. It's just a thumbnail sketch of the many plants and colors that you can locate online and in a nursery. I hope that they are zone specific for you, at least for some part of the year, and that you get to enjoy it if you decide to go down that landscape journey. Let me know if I can help any further. I'll catch you on the channel. Thanks again, and as always, to your landscape success. And then as you start to march through summer, July is the month that separates the men from the boys. And that is where you have to find color that is going to extend into the late summer and early fall months. And that can be a lot of fun. It really can be a lot of fun. You can use annuals as fillers. You can use annuals more than once. You could plant a bed of lobelia and alyssum in the springtime, and it'll knock your socks off for about 8 weeks, and then it kind of, well, for those of you who can have those types of annuals, replant them somewhere else. Start them again. If you think of annuals, think of annual vinca, which really, now where I'm at, annual vinca would not get going. It just would not make any sort of a showstop compared to where I used to be. And I would plant it in late April or May knowing full well it would not get its legs and get going till the end of July. I know that it would just sit there, and it did. But July, August, September, and into October, oh, showstopper, okay? So think about something like that. And now you have this roadmap that you're starting to develop from spring until fall, whenever that is for you. So maybe you have 6 months, maybe you have 7 months, maybe you have 8 months. Higher zones have 9 and 10 months, and the highest zones are all year long. You just have to switch some things out towards the end of the year to carry you through the winter. And as soon as Christmas and New Year's is over for you people down in Florida, San Diego, I know full well as soon as the holidays are over, you guys can start planting things and have stuff coming up, and it'll work wonderful for you. A color continuum is a wonderful journey and designer challenge that allows you to have things handing off from one to another. And by the end of the season, when things are getting tired, you've gone back through, deadheaded, and taken care of those that took care of you in like June or July, maybe early August, and you deadheaded them back. And now in September, they're throwing not maybe big initial bloom colors, but they're throwing colors. And just about the time that those guys get tired for the season, you have your fall foliage colors. And you can incorporate that into your color continuum to carry you through the fall. Color continuum is not hard to achieve. It's just hard for some people to plan because you have to learn about your plantings, and you have to learn about when things bloom, when they do not bloom, when they go out of bloom, when are they available, and remember availability, because in some regions, like, yeah, we're having a bit of a thunderstorm right now. In some regions of the country, nurseries, especially mom and pops, by the end of July and into August, they're already starting to roll up the carpet inventory-wise. So remember that that's when you can turn to maybe online sources, seed sources, and acquire them maybe through Facebook Marketplace, which I have acquired a lot of plants up here in northern Maine for, just from garage sales and stuff that I have picked up. And now that it's been a few years, I have some of those perennials, part of my color continuum, that I'm ready to divide next spring and start propagating to other parts of the yard. Free plants. Don't have to pay $12 to $18 for a gallon can perennial. So let me know, number one, where you're at. And number two, what are some of the ushers of spring that come into your area first that makes you start to think, spring is here, wonderful. And then what happens and how long do you see your spring color in your yard last? And what month does everything kind of cut off for you and you go, man, I wish that could have gone just a little bit longer? Let me know in the comments below. If you have questions regarding the color continuum, you can drop them down below, or you can email me at yardcoach@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to get back to you right away. If this is something that you feel is insurmountable, you can't get your head around it, or you do not want to get your head around it, you can always go to the website, youryardcoach.com, and look for some consultation. Look for some help that I offer there in goods and services, and we can do it together so that you have a little more landscape success. I am a color guy. I am a contrasting color guy, and I really love to try and stretch wherever I've been, try to stretch that color continuum all the way. Now it's till the first frost, which is generally mid-October for me. and then I'm done all the way till May. And a long, long time where there's nothing out there. But for you guys, maybe you're in one of the higher zones where things can continue. They can continue in containers, they can continue in window boxes, they can continue in raised beds, they can continue in foliage, they can continue in late bulbs, they can continue early on with new bulbs. I am becoming a big bulb fan. I have doubled the amount of Asiatic lilies and tiger lilies this year, which we hopefully will enjoy a little bit coming up later in the year. And so when you have boom, boom, boom outside. When you have and you start to acquire that kind of horticultural knowledge, don't let it escape you. Write it down somewhere, type it out somewhere and save it, and then start to build on it year after year after year. Eventually, and not in too short a order, you'll be that yard in the neighborhood that'll go, man, why do they always, everything is always so pretty and blooming here? It's because you took the time and effort and you did the research, and now you can pay it forward to somebody else that maybe doesn't know as much as you do. Lastly, remember this, is that your color continuum isn't always annuals, bulbs, and perennials. You can get a lot of color through spring blooming trees, hosta color through its variegation. You can get even help from the local native population as far as native plantings. Like right now, we have a whole hillside behind our house and out above the pond that has a combination of wildflower that I have planted, plus we have daisies and we have other native plants. So we have a good assortment of yellows and whites and some reds and stuff. And it makes it very, very enjoyable and kind of really brings out that pride of home ownership that some people tend to go, it's summertime, forget it, and just go back to a half green lawn and we'll wait till next spring. It's not necessarily the case. Not if you really want it. That's what I have for you this week. Color continuum and stretch that growing season and that blooming season as far as you possibly can. Thank you for your time. As always, to your landscape success. Don't forget the website. We'll put it right here. And I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.